Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
Yeah.
We just have to take the sound
I think it's this
feed.
one here that goes over here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if this works. Does this work? Is it plugged in? See, everybody makes fun of me and my inability to bring all the equipment that I need to bring, but apparently.
How cool! What a cool interview!
I'm not the only one. So you tell me when we can do this, okay? Okay, you ready? Okay.
Let's try it one more time.
Well, it's running, but I don't hear anything. Well, anyway, we'll get to that in just a minute. Okay. So pardon us for pausing just a moment here, because our next guests, I think that you're truly going to enjoy. Gentlemen, I know that guy. I haven't met you yet, but I've met this guy here before. Does this whole setup look a little familiar to you? Yeah, it does. Okay, good. So our guests now are going to be Carroll Shelby and Peter Miles, and they appeared together here because this is the salute to Ford versus Ferrari, and it's great to have both of you guys here. Thank you very much. And Aaron, we'll start with you. It's good to see you again.
I appreciate being here.
Yeah, Carroll Shelby. So, Aaron, here you are back, and for a reason, representing Shelby American. Yeah. But I did not realize that you don't have really anything to do with the car business. You're in the finance business.
You got it. Yeah, I work for Prosperity Bank, actually. That's my full-time job. So it's the car business is just my fun side job.
Yeah.
Well, what a fun side it is, too.
It is,
yeah,
sure.
It truly is.
Get invited to these kinds of events and stuff.
So you're the great-grandson?
Oh, grandson.
Grandson.
Yeah, my father, Patrick, was Carol's youngest out of the three.
Okay, so he's the grandson.
Yep.
And we also have here Mr. Peter Miles. And it's certainly good to have you here as well. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Where do you live?
I live in Monterey, California.
Do you? And you?
I'm in Dallas.
Dallas, Texas.
Yep.
Monterey.
What a beautiful place. I've been there quite a few times.
Yeah.
Wish I could stay.
I know, it's beautiful.
So, gentlemen, what do you think about not the rain, okay? I promise we didn't bring this. It actually got here before we did, so we've been dealing with it all morning long. Yeah, and but usually the weather is absolutely stunning. I wouldn't say as nice as Monterey, and certainly not as hot as Dallas in September. So there's that. So tell me a little. I know about you. We're going to get back to you. Don't you leave. Ken Miles' grandson. Son. Okay. I was paying you a compliment because you look like you're 30.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I promise you. So, what do you do for a living these days?
Right now I'm taking care of a gentleman's private car collection.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Up in Monterey?
Yeah.
Nice. So it's by the house?
Yep.
Kind of.
Yeah, nice and close.
Yeah.
So, but you are a car nut like the rest of us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And have been since you were wee-eyed a GT40?
Well, I used to go to a lot of the testing sessions and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I've always been involved in it to some degree.
What kind of car do you have today? What is your daily driver? I have to ask.
Camry.
A Camry.
Bulletproof, goes everywhere. You never have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. So do you ever get behind the wheel of any of these hot rods? Occasionally?
We do, the channel I work for, we do some session once in a while. Somebody wants to do a photo shoot on one of the cars. So I'll take care of that. We'll go out to the track and position it and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So is that collection more race cars, classic cars, muscle cars, or kind of a blend of all of them?
It's a blend of stuff from all different eras.
Is it a private collection?
Yeah.
Is it open to the public?
No, it's very, very private. And
Gotcha.
Everything from very old Rolls Royces to 30s, French cars and 20s British cars.
Oh, the 30s French cars, all those Art Deco cars.
Yeah, Talbots, and then he moves on up to muscle cars and
Oh, so a pretty wide variety of.
yeah, and then quite a bit of race cars because he enjoys competition quite a bit.
So were you two guys kind of thrown together with this movie?
We were.
Yeah.
I actually knew who Peter was for quite a while, but we just met right around the time the movie was wrapping up for the first time and started a good relationship.
That's
it's been
awesome.
fun to get to know him. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Have you been out to his place?
I have not.
Because he hasn't invited you yet?
I think it's a pretty private collection.
Yeah,
so.
I got you.
Yep.
So, it's certainly a pleasure to have you guys here. What do you think of the event? Have you had a chance to see it yesterday? We had all the covered up cars. Of course, today's show doesn't open until 10 o'clock, but have you had a chance to walk around?
Not yet this morning. No, we just got here. I drove down actually Thursday. I was doing some bank work. Prosperity's based here in Houston, so I was doing some work yesterday and Thursday. Got in last night, had a dinner, and then was just going to wander around after our interview here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I get to look at a lot of car covers
Yep.
till the weather lifts, and I'm assuming it'll lift sometime in the afternoon, and hopefully it'll be a beautiful day tomorrow, and everybody to get them out and shine them up and let everybody see. Peter, any of your work part of that collection, did they come here?
No, I don't think he doesn't come
he-
here. We do occasional things, but we'll have some stuff on a display at Pebble this year.
Pebble Beach.
And when you
Nice.
talk about racetrack, you're talking about Laguna Seca.
Yeah, that's the home track for us.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Monterey, that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
How cool is that? And the range of cars, are they all driven? Somebody puts a couple of miles on them every so often just to kind of keep the fluid.
He
spun in 'em?
does.
Well,
That's my job is maintain the stuff and keep it
trying
driven.
to get an invite.
Is that what? Yeah. It just so happens that
Ain't
he
gonna
has
happen.
he has a daughter that lives and works in the wine country up there in Northern California, and he's always looking for something to do.
Well, actually, you may or may not have heard it. I know it's put on by the same people who do Pebble Beach. Is the Ironstone Concours up in Murphy's, California. It's usually in September, and the same guys who do Pebble Beach come up and do that one. It's not nearly nothing's nearly what Pebble
So
Beach is.
that's a plug. You just
Well,
gave a
that's
plug.
hey, Ironstone Winery. They'll send me a case.
It's
and
good
say,
wine.
Thank you very much.
I have sampled it. It is very good. Send more.
But I know. So, do those cars? Do you guys go out to some of the shows with that private collection, or is it that private that these are my toys and I don't bring them out very often?
We do the stuff that we're invited to,
Okay.
but he knows a lot of those guys, and so
You know how
it's
it
a
is.
personal thing.
It's a car guy thing.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, it really
we know people because we're car guys, and you do, and you do, and he does. You kind of get into that circle of friends. I wouldn't have met you. You've been in the car business forever, and I started
76, 75.
Well, I started in high school, and my love for cars has always been there, and I have known some great folks that have kept me going in the car business because, hey, Don, you want to come to the? Yeah, I want to come.
There's even
It's that kind of thing.
Always wanting to see everybody else's, just not necessarily their collections, but their passion.
And to steal their ideas.
And we support car clubs throughout Houston and throughout the state and in the country. We do support those as well. You've got ladies car clubs that are very, very popular as well. So have them on the show.
So
great.
besides your Camry, do you have a toy of your own?
Yeah, he's got a whole nother guy's collection of toys.
But still, it's,
by the time the weekend rolls around, I've kind of had enough of cars for a while.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So-
But you actually represent Shelby American.
I do. So I'm on the board of Carroll Shelby International, and then I'm co-president of the Carroll Shelby Foundation.
Right.
so you have a toy at home.
I do have a toy. I actually have a toy here this weekend as
Okay.
well.
Nice.
So
What
What'd
did
you
you bring?
So the movie Cobra, the 8100 car, so the one that Matt Damon drives around in the movie is my car. So I bought that after the production was done, and so shipped that one down here to be on the display in the movie Cobra.
They didn't tear it up.
They did not. It had all
They
of
weren't
like
allowed
28
to.
miles on it when I got it.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I see. Wow.
Now my brother bought the Cobra that Christian Bale races in that scene, the white one. And that one's got some rock marks and stuff on it, but that's fine.
So how many miles on yours now?
I probably have about 60 miles on it now.
So you didn't drive it too far.
Well,
and some
no,
of it's pushing it around places, too.
and part of it, so when I got it after production, I had to kind of have it hidden for a while. The movie came out. I shipped it to Las Vegas to Shelby American to be on display because they had a kind of semi-permanent movie display, so it sat there for about 9 months.
Oh, wow.
Not a bad
on
place
display,
to
and
keep it.
I just got it back in Dallas about 3 months ago.
So you haven't driven it since it's been back?
I don't have it registered yet. That's been my struggle. So it's
That's
I got to
not
get
a
that
problem.
doing. And
Not a problem.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
it's a Shelby, believe me. If
Yeah.
the cops are going to pull you over, they're going to pull you over to check out the car, not to check your license and registration,
Yeah.
unless you're doing something the Shelby was designed to do.
No, it's my
think
plan is after getting back from the show here, I'll get registration handled this week, and then enjoy the springtime up in Dallas.
I
With
was
it.
going to say, if you got the keys on you, we could handle that.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, he does, and no, you can't.
There's all of that. So are either one of you guys boat guys?
You know, I'm not, and that was the thing that the last couple times I came to this show that I really appreciated. I can appreciate the craftsmanship of them, but I don't have any knowledge on the boat side of things.
Nor do I.
Yeah.
But to see these boats that are here, this is for those that don't know, this is a by invitation only car show.
What are we doing here?
Exactly. I don't know why they keep inviting us back, but whatever the case, I can tell you that the invites are very particular. You've got to have the right stuff to be invited to the show, and that goes along with the boats as well. And some absolutely stunning craftsmanship. And these are not boats from the 30s and the 40s and the 50s that have, been recreated. These are original boats that have been restored. And to see some of the pictures of what they started off with and what they are now, you think, there is a guy that does woodworking like I have never seen before.
Beyond cabinetry.
Yeah.
The quality of the – and
It's
a
artistry.
couple of years ago, we had one of the guys who had redone one of the boats, and he said some of the wood you're not even allowed to import. A lot of the wood you're not even allowed to import in the United States anymore of what some of these boats are. So when they go to a concours like this, he says, well, we had to make this repair, but we couldn't use this Indonesian whatever it was, and they counted it off on me on my concours score. And he's like, there's no way I could reproduce that. And I'm like, that's tough. You spend that kind of effort in building the boat, and because you can't get the wood, you can't get 1,000 points out of it.
Hold on a second. We've had problems with his connection over there.
You got it?
Yeah, we're
All right,
good.
here we
There
go.
you go.
All
Now
right.
we can.
Yeah, so one of the things that I was most impressed with the last couple times at this show and looking forward to this weekend is that combination of the boats and the cars. They each have such exquisite craftsmanship. And to look at the details and the work that's been done to bring these things up to operational standards today, but keeping the vintage aspect of them.
And the hours put into them. I mean,
Unbelievable. Yeah, we're not talking about, a small block Chevy engine in it. Some of those things out there have got some weird motor that you've never even heard of before in your entire life.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing these things. It's going to be great.
So, Peter, let me ask you, and you decide how deep you want to get into this. How was your dad? Give me some understanding of Ken Miles.
He was gone a lot.
He was gone a lot.
Yeah,
I can only imagine, yeah.
Especially in the years when I was growing up and I started to understand what was going on instead of just being a little kid. But when he was home, he was constantly working on a house, constantly doing this and that to improve things. So trying to build up the lives, family life and all that.
Right.
And, of course, I got waylaid into doing a lot of helping.
Right.
But
how was he to work with?
Challenging.
Was that? I can only imagine.
because he was such a perfectionist.
Yeah, very demanding and a hard worker.
Right.
So
I have,
which was well depicted in the movie as well. So it seemed like he was very focused on what he was working on in the movie and wanting to make sure that it was the best it could be. So that was a pretty fair depiction of who your dad was in real life.
I think in the movie they did a good job on that part of it. Yeah.
Did they consult with you at all?
Yeah, I did a little consulting with Christian Bale and with Katrina Belf also.
How was that?
That was fun.
Was it?
Fun, yeah. Christian's a great guy, a really great guy.
So what kind of questions did he ask you to get a flavor of your dad?
Well, I gave him I got together a whole package of voice recordings and articles and books and all kinds of stuff and just took him this big package of stuff. And he took it home and studied it and tried to understand my father a little better before. And then so he could his goal was to portray the person as accurately as possible.
Oh, how cool.
Whether or not he 100%, hell, that's a
And how old were you when your dad passed?
15.
Okay. So
God,
you
that
had
had
a
to be
good, strong memory of him, yeah.
Yeah, that had to be horrible for you at 15 years old.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. Yeah, that was tough to see the whole thing going on.
Yeah. Now, do you have brothers and sisters?
No, I'm the only one.
You're the only child.
The name dies with me.
I'm an only child, too. Look at us. What's wrong with us? What's wrong with this picture? You? Are you?
I've got 2 brothers.
You got 2 brothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm the oldest of 3. I've got Randall, that's 2 years younger than me, and Sean's 8 years younger than me. So
Are they also involved in Shelby American?
not as much as I am. No, they have a passion for the cars and like the history, but they don't jump into it kind of like I do. So, which is they're open to it as much as they want to, but they don't choose to do quite as much as I do.
Yeah. So, do you plan to end your career at this museum, at this collection?
Well, I'm going to keep going as long as I can, sure.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I keep telling myself, well, what else am I going to do? Everybody keeps
Who's
saying,
going to pay you to do it?
but I don't get paid now. What are you talking about?
Well, Don also does helicopter
Reporting for a local ABC TV affiliate.
Okay.
So he does have a real job besides this.
Owned by Disney.
I understand how that works.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Prosperity Bank.
Something's got to pay the bills.
Plug 3.
Go do the fun stuff. So
Yeah, but your background. Yeah, I mean, you're the finance guy. That's what you went to school for.
it is for sure.
Yeah. And was there ever any pressure on you to go into the car business because of who you are?
You know, it's funny. There wasn't. I loved it as a kid. I went to school, declared as a mechanical engineer, thinking that's the direction I wanted to go. And I lasted all of 2 days in orientation and thought, yeah, this isn't for me. So I changed to the business school.
So what is the interest rate on one of these units out here?
That's a good question. Good
Unit
question.
is the word of the day.
All right.
You use the
There
word
you go.
unit. Then you
Yeah. So,
So it was really, and Carroll was a really unique individual, obviously. There wasn't a path for succession with him. So while I loved it and I went to as many shows as I could and spent a lot of time with him, it wasn't ever, hey, why don't you come on board? I'll teach you and it's your deal next. It kind of happened after he passed away, to be honest with you.
yeah.
While I always had a passion for it, my real passion came in the early 80s or late 70s, actually, when my dad started racing. Carroll wasn't in the car business. Dad started racing Formula Fords when I was about 8. And I just fell in love with going to the races and going to car shows at that point.
So were you a little bit of his pit crew?
Yes, I had my crew shirt, and I'd polish the wheels and clean the car up as much as I could while the other guys did the real work.
I have to tell you that I saw an interview that was called The Lost Interview or something like that. It was on YouTube, and it was lengthy. It was like an hour and a half. You know what I'm talking about. And he was older at that point. But, through the interview, it was almost like I wasn't quite sure of how he was going to take the questions. Was he going to go off on the guy? It was always that little bit of an edge there. He never did. And he always answered the questions fully and completely. But do you know, did you see it too? Yeah. And it was really a great interview because it gave you some insight into who Carroll Shelby really was. And I would imagine that interview was a reflection of who he was in just the regular life, because that's the feeling that I got from the interview.
I think so. He was really very personable. If you talk to anybody that knew him or met him a couple of times.
But serious.
He was serious,
Very.
but he made everybody feel like their best friend.
Right.
And he would meet you 10 years ago, and he'd meet you today and go, Don, what's going on? It's good to see you again. How's your family? I mean, he just pick up like it was yesterday was the last time you met.
But
He
that's
just had that innate
any car
ability.
guy mentality. Any car guy mentality.
It's true.
At that level, what else are you going to do? I mean, people is your business.
Yep, it's true.
That's true.
And he was good at that. I think that's one thing the movie did a good job of depicting was he could go politic in Detroit and then come back to Southern California and pass on the knowledge he wanted to pass on, not necessarily what he was supposed to pass on.
He was
And let his guys do his stuff.
He was very charismatic and used his knowledge to be your best friend.
Yes.
That,
very much
I mean,
so.
I don't know how else to put that.
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. You wanted to be his friend. He was very serious about his conversation with you, looked you square in the eyes and said, this is how I feel about that. And you can either accept it or not, but this is how I feel about it. And there's a certain respect that I think that commanded throughout his career, and I think that it started early on from what I gathered in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I think that's exactly right. For him to build that team that he built in Venice, California with the first Cobra, those guys were 18, 19, 20, 21 years old.
Yep.
He wasn't much older than them. He was in his mid to late 30s, and they just had this idea, and they all bought into the idea.
And they had the passion that he did.
They did.
Yeah, and that's how that all worked together.
It was a team effort for sure.
And the funding and some of the connections to
Yeah.
make things happen, and hit the connections with Ford really was because he spent the effort to go into the politics side of it, because it's when you deal with manufacturers, it's all political
Yep.
at some point, because you're trying to take some money from them to do your project, and they've got a bazillion other people talking to them about what their projects are.
Yep.
And then to have the success that your family had, at Le Mans for 4 years straight.
And Peter, from what I gathered, that your dad kind of had the same kind of intensity and passion, but he was over here in this world where Carroll was over here in this world, and they had this mutual respect for one another, and they kind of met and kind of developed their own passion together to get this job done in 1966. Well, it was before that, but am I correct?
Yeah, I think that's really accurate, yeah.
Yeah. Because they're all car guys. And we keep going back to that, but that's really what it is. I mean, you got a passion for cars, then you and that guy over there and that guy over there, we all have this one thing in common.
It's almost like a brotherhood.
That's exactly right. It is like a brotherhood. But, when you reach that level, and they didn't start off at some high level and big celebrities. They started off at the ground level.
Yeah.
Just my own personal experience, I started off at a Chevrolet dealership through a friend of mine, and this friend of mine had a passion for cars, and I did too. And we got together, and he went to work for the car dealership and says, "Hey, they got an opening over here. You want to come on?" I said, "I'm on." And, we're still friends today.
Yeah.
And it's funny how the longevity of it all, it just keeps on going. I love it. You?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine. And, thanks to your dad, who kind of got the whole thing going, and you clearly liked what your dad did. I know I did. My dad worked at a industrial engine manufacturer called Waukesha Motor Company. And so Dad was always out in the driveway working on the car to keep it running, not to soup it up or anything, just to keep the thing running. And I guess that's where the spark was with he and I. We've always, until his death, I mean, he always appreciated cars, but not to the extent that I did. Mm-hmm. But, it all starts somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that you can appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was exciting for me when we went to work for Carroll. He would bring home project cars. And, of course, I got to go for rides in some of this stuff. He'd take me down to the hobby shop in the Cobra. Of course, everybody come running out and see what's going on, see what this car is.
Right. Unmuffled and and all
So
that.
when your dad took you for rides, were they just a cruise, or did he take you out and blast it a little bit?
Well, we lived in the Hollywood Hills and up a lot of windy roads and stuff, and he always went like 9/10 everywhere he went. And for me, it was normal. I never realized it was actually doing that, but for other people, it scared the heck out of them.
My wife drives like that. My wife does that. But she's not listening right now.
So, yeah, I mean, I got to drive the first 427 Cobra out at Willow Springs one time.
Wow.
And the street car. Just around the track with him sitting in the passenger seat. And I thought I was just going nice and slow and all that piece. Like, hold on to the seat.
Right, exactly.
Because he trusted his driving, but didn't trust yours at that point.
Yeah, and I didn't have a license yet or anything, So.
And,
don't count.
The interesting thing that I discovered is that Carroll really wasn't gung-ho on putting a big block in that little bitty car, but he did it because of the Corvette.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, that was something that I learned through this process, that getting ready
It was
for
something
this
about
show.
the imbalance of the car with all the front weight of putting the bigger engine in it, but he needed the power.
I cannot even imagine a 427 in that little bitty light two-seat sports car. Unbelievable.
And being 13 or 14 years old behind the wheel of it at Willow Springs.
No, I didn't drive that car. The street car.
It was the street car. Yeah, well, but still, even the street car, wow.
Yeah.
Still,
that's cool. That's cool.
Cool stuff for a young guy.
So it was portrayed in the movie and kind of a lot of people knew the story. Did your dad ever talk about the first victory and the Gurney relationship and how that played out?
When he came home, he didn't really talk about work to me.
Okay.
And so there's an awful lot I never saw or never knew about. Although I did go to some testing sessions. But
how were the testing sessions?
Oh, God, they were so boring for me.
Were they? I can only imagine. Get out there and run the car a couple of laps and come back and work 3 hours on it.
And, just we'd have a rental car or something. I'd just go out and drive around myself and learn how to drive. But,
well, at least you were given that opportunity. That must have been good. Am I not correct?
No, it's good.
Yeah, because I remember when I first started to learn how to drive. It was fun. Dad's Biscayne with the 3-speed on the column.
Yeah.
And you pop the clutch out and lunge forward and that sort of stuff. That's how I learned how to drive a stick shift.
Yeah, and my dad was pretty cool about letting me drive on my own a little bit once in a
I'm
while.
sure he was. Here are the keys. Here. How old are you? 10? You're good.
Well, I didn't do anything that he didn't do when he was young.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he was good with it.
But can you imagine growing up like he grew up at the really kind of the beginning of the car industry? And I don't know about hot rodding, but they certainly made a lot of moonshine cars that went pretty fast.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, but he grew up in England, so things were a little different.
Littler motors.
Very much littler motors.
Yeah.
That didn't have the.
Do you still have family back in the UK?
I don't have any family left.
No?
He said he's the last to carry on.
Are you? Really?
Yeah.
Well, I am too. So we've got that in common.
We'll talk about it after the show.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Over a margarita or 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Commiserate.
Well, gentlemen, it's truly an honor and a pleasure to have both of you here. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
Now I know where to call.
Prosperity Bank.
Can you loan me $1,000? Yeah.
To put down on a Cobra?
Yeah, to put down on a Cobra.
Well, thanks for so much for
Well, thank you. We really appreciate it. So, Peter Miles and Aaron Shelby, great to have you here. And
thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
we'll see you again. We'll be here for a while.
Yeah,
All right.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun weekend.
Yes,
yeah,
it will.
It'll certainly
It's a
be
great
an
event for
interesting weekend, won't it?
all the people that are listening and watching. It's open today. I think they just opened the gates. Stay with us, and if you want to come out today or come on out tomorrow.
It's the In Wheel Time Show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Pipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in.
David's
And you're
still working
invited
on
to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 15th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone's invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, May 15th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, May 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting. Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.